Live from Schellenberger Field, you're watching men's college lacrosse action on LHSN as the Lynchburg Hornets play host to the Bridgewater Eagles on Faculty Staff Appreciation Night. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. It's TJ Wigert here with you for all the fun between the Eagles and the Hornets this evening. It's going to go down as the 10th all-time meeting between these two squads. We'll run you through some of the numbers entering today's contest, and if you're a fan of offense, this one is for you. Lynchburg first in the ODAC in goals per game. Bridgewater not far behind at third. So odds are we'll see a lot of those shots find the back of the net, and really where this contest gets really interesting is those clear percentages and face-off percentages. Who can find an edge as this game progresses? A lot of players we got to talk about when it comes to this matchup. Starting with Bridgewater, player to watch, got to be Chris Martell, senior, hailing from Maryland. How about almost 4 goals a contest? All told, 62 scores, 8 assists to go with it, and he's got start number 17 of the season coming tonight. And on the other side, stepping with our trend, Ryan Kenny. This guy knows how to put it in the back of the net. Second in the ODAC in goals per game, if you're picking up on my trend here. But 56 scores, 9 assists this season for a senior from Massachusetts. Those two leading goal scorers will be a big cog in the mix for each team. And the keepers, Robbie Noyes, currently third in the conference in goal against average with the save percentage up and over 51%, 51.4. 10 wins this season, 162 saves on the year as well. And on the other side, Tyler Hadley getting comfortable between the posts, his 6th consecutive start tonight, and he has been the starter in net during all 5 wins of Lynchburg's current winning streak. And, of course, we got to talk about the coaches. 10th-year head coach Mick Grant reached his first ODAC semifinals last year. He's the first head coach in program history after spending 5 years and 4 seasons at Marywood University. This year, or this program rather, has gotten better year over year, and Mick Grant a big reason why. And Steve Kudelka on the other side, a perfect 9-0 all-time against Bridgewater, looking to make it 10 for 10 this evening against the Eagles. Stage is set. Starters are being introduced as number 11, Lynchburg, plays host to Bridgewater. Let's go back to last year's meeting between these two sides. One of the 9 victories for Lynchburg, 20-8. Brett Rogers, 2 goals, 5 assists in the win. Riley Mitchell, 2 scores and an assist. Ryan Kenny finds the back of the net twice. And you also have Kyle Lewis with 3 goals and an assist in last year's win as well. And talking more about the series' all-time history, how about all but one meeting decided by more than double digits? Or double digits in and of itself, only one meeting decided by less than that, and that was on March 7th of 2020. So Bridgewater going to look to keep it a little closer this evening, and potentially for a big road upset, and that would do wonders as this Bridgewater team has won 3 of their last 4, coming off a loss against number 20 Washington Elite, 18-11 final score there. So this is a chance to avenge yourself, get back on your winning path, and take down a ranked opponent on the way. Meanwhile, Lynchburg, 5 straight wins against Shenandoah, Guilford, at Roanoke, at Randolph, and then at home on Saturday against Randolph-Macon. Lynchburg looking to keep momentum on their side tonight and take down the Eagles. Getting set at midfield, we'll run you through the starting lineups for Bridgewater. We'll do this numerically. Connor McLean, Hayden Gormley, Trevor McClellan, Hunter Becker, Ryan Addison, and the keeper Robbie Noyes, Sam Homick, Chris Martell, Josh Goodwin, and Sam Lyons. For Lynchburg, the starting keeper is Tyler Hadley, joined by Riley Mitchell, Henry Merendon, A.J. Neves, Kyle Lewis, Jake Rust, Ryan Kenny, Marshall Rodegast, Dom Zingo, and Dylan Wolf. Play underway. Josiah Martin brings it across midfield. And we'll see the Lynchburg offense get their first crack against Robbie Noyes. Mitchell breaks to his right. In front of the net was eyeing Kenny. Couldn't handle the pass, and the sun is setting over Schellenberger Field, perhaps playing a factor in some of the passing. Now, granted, Kenny had his back towards the sun there. So I'm unsure if the sun played a factor on that occasion, but something to monitor through the first quarter or so of tonight's contest. First look at Bridgewater. Pass goes to Hunter Becker. Becker brings it out. Lays it off. For a moment it was with Sam Homick, 16 goals, 5 assists this season, 3 goals last time out. Becker with a nice spin, trying to evade Peter Robinson. Becker gives off, shot from Trevor McClellan, denied by Tyler Hadley. First save of the day for either keeper. And the first shot of the afternoon for Trevor McClellan, 58th of his season. So Bridgewater currently 6th in the ODAC standings, half game back of Randolph-Macon and Hampton-Sydney, tied for that 5 spot. And then Lynchburg on the other side, half game back of Washington Elite for the top spot in the conference standings. Ian McCarthy brings it to the near side. Lewis, a couple shoulder shimmies. Gives off to A.J. Neves. Neves with a little more than 30 seconds to play with. In front of him is Jackson Wicker. Neves has Dylan Wolf. Wolf working to his left. Takes his first shot of the day. Leaves it off frame, wide right. Kenny to pick it off the restart. Neves with it once more. Feeds Mitchell. Shot clock down under 10. Mitchell from downtown. Wide left. Jake Rust with 6 seconds. Rust bends it around the net. Leaves the shot up and over the top crossbar. It's going to be Kyle Lewis on the far side. 1 second to play with. Lynchburg sends it towards the corner. And more than 2.5 minutes underway. Still looking for our first score. So I hyped this up as a potential back-and-forth, high-scoring affair, but neither team able to find the back of the net. More than 15 goals per game for Bridgewater. As I noted at the top of the broadcast, 3rd in the ODAC. Lynchburg just under 18 goals per game, 1st in the conference. It's also a Lynchburg team that stellar on man-up opportunity. That's going to be a big key to the game for Bridgewater. Avoid those man-down chances. Big hit, Peter Robinson. Sends Corey Polo down to the ground. And creates the turnover. Lynchburg across midfield. Looking to take advantage of the turnover created by Robinson. Rodegast finds Kenny. Kenny gives back to Brett Rogers. First time seeing Rogers with the ball in his hand. And the senior gives off to McCarthy. Nate Schaefer, another senior, with it in front of midfield. Schaefer had a pair of scores on senior night against Randolph-Macon on Saturday. He gives to Rogers, who then lays off for McCarthy. 2 defenders pick up McCarthy. Pass goes back to Lewis. Cross swing. Rogers trying to back down his defender, Eddie Ross, the 5th. Nothing doing as Noyes there with the stop. Now Bridgewater across midfield. Jackson Wicker, a freshman from Richmond, Virginia. Can't keep it for long, though. The Eagles surrender it back to Lynchburg. Darminio coming off a career-high 11 ground balls. And the win against Randolph-Macon, the junior, has been stellar this season. Nice spin, Rogers. Another stop for Noyes. More on Darminio. Had to get this quote on the broadcast. As Coach Kadelka was talking about following Darminio's path as you monitor his step and his mileage throughout a game. Coach Kadelka phrased it as letting a dog loose in your front yard, and that about sums it up. Chris Darminio is everywhere on the turf. That trend should carry over into tonight's contest. Homick towards the center of the turf. Pass goes to Gorley, sophomore from Annapolis. 12 goals, 17 assists this season. Becker with nowhere to go. Picked up by Schuster. Less than 25 seconds in the shot clock. Martin defends. Homick brings it around the net. Pass goes to McLean. Then back up top. Now it's with Gorley. Gorley against Josiah Martin. Pass goes back to Becker. Shot clock down to 3. Correction, now the clock at 5. Nothing comes of the possession either way. Both defenses brought their A game here in the first quarter. Schuster squeezed in a tight window ahead. He has Wolf. Wolf tonight gets his 11th start of the season. Shot, score! Hornets the first to find the back of the net and lead 1-0. More than 6 minutes into the contest, we finally have our first goal of the night. Riley Mitchell taking on Eric Leisner. Works to his right, goes cross-body against Noyes, buries it home. And on the sideline, Coach Mick Grant talks it over. A few of his players, looks like that conversation was being had with Hunter Becker. Face-off between Michael Kraus and Gabe Alexander. That's a fun battle all night long. Kraus third in the ODAC in face-off percentage and ground balls per game. Alexander on the other side first in the conference in both those metrics. Wolf can't handle the pass. Lynchburg turns it over. Wicker there with the ground ball, and Coach Goodell on the sideline calling for his team to quote-unquote wake up. Hornets ahead by 1. Bridgewater seeking the equalizer. Corey Polo, we saw get knocked down hard earlier with it. Trying to send it to the near side to Grant Nyland. He can't handle the pass. Peter Robinson picks it up. No numbers advantage for Lynchburg. Robinson swings over to Kenny. Darminio. Now it's Lewis. Lewis in front of Sam Lyons. Some space for Lewis. Gives off to Kenny. Shot. Save for Noyes. Sent back out, and Mitchell there to gather for Lynchburg. Only one score so far, but you wouldn't be able to tell that by the pace both teams are playing with. It's been upbeat. And eventually the offense will show that point. Mitchell has to track it down. In front of him, he has Leisner. Pass to the far side, it's Wolf. Step on his defender, takes the shot, and has his first goal of the night. Dylan Wolf collects goal number 18 of his junior campaign. And Lynchburg pushes the lead to 2-0. Take another look. Pretty as can be if you're a Lynchburg fan. You've seen similar shots and sets all year long. So we get set at midfield between Kraus and Alexander. Bridgewater wins the face-off. Alexander gets the ground ball. Came in tonight's contest with 140 on the season. And he quickly gives it off to Homick. Get the offense in motion. Bridgewater still looking to find the back of the net for the first time tonight as Becker will bring it around the net. Becker lost it. And it's Rodegast to gather for Lynchburg. Rodegast shoved to the sideline. Loses control. And it's Martell to pick up the loose ball for Bridgewater. Gorley with a fresh shot clock. Down to his feet. Shovels it over to McClellan. Shot. And another save for Tyler Hadley. Martell let it loose. Hadley steps up, out of the net, flings it long. He's got Peter Robinson. Robinson for Lewis, who takes the shot. Sails it high and wide right. Couple passes. Lynchburg covers the length of the turf. Nothing to show for it. Just under 6 to play in the first. Lynchburg wastes no time. Martin for Rogers. Now Rust on the restart. Lewis enters tonight's contest. How about 21 goals and 48 assists? Here looking to lose Lions. Shot wide right, Lynchburg. Maintain possession. They have 45 seconds on the shot clock. Brett Rogers controls. Senior from Leesburg, Virginia. Flips it back to Lewis. Returns the favor to Rogers. Rogers looking to lose Leisner. Another shot off frame. 12th shot of the day for Lynchburg. Only 4 have been on goal. Lewis keeps. Fakes to his left, breaks to his right. Shot might have been deflected by Noyes. Hornets able to keep it alive, create a nice opportunity. Close quarters look for Rogers. An impressive stop for Robbie Noyes. Have a day. Senior from Glenwood, Maryland. Per the live stats, already 4 saves. Hadley on their side does have a pair to go with it. Grant Nyland, sophomore from Maryland, 7 goals, 2 assists, 12th game played this year. Now it's Jim Davis, back up top to Nyland. The far side, Polo against Josiah Martin. Lost control, bounces right into the waiting stick of Hadley. Completes the clear. Hadley won't stop there. Breaks in front of the attacking third. Gives off to Kyle Lewis. Perfect pass, Ryan Kenny, and he snipes home. The 3rd of the night for Lynchburg. It was only a matter of time before Ryan Kenny or Chris Martell hit the back of the net, and it's Kennedy, the first to strike between our 2 players to watch. Lewis gets that pass off just in the nick of time, and Kenny lets it rip against Noyes. Going back to what I was talking about with Darminio as we see the face-off. Alexander can't pick it up, sent back towards midfield. And Bridgewater, well, the possession is picked up by Ross the 4th. But to put a bow on that point, shot wide right. Coach Kadelka was talking about Chris Darminio looks like a dog let loose in the front yard. And he's on the other side. Ryan Kenny might move 10, 20 feet in a game, finds his spots, and he'll stay there. But hey, if you have 57 goals in the season, I wouldn't move far either. Lynchburg looking to extend their 3-0 lead. Wolf back to Mitchell. Now with Neves. Neves brings it behind the net. He'll take a screen from Lewis. Screen sends his defender down to the ground. Shot off the left post. Sent up into the Lynchburg sky. Mitchell to settle underneath it. Mitchell's going to take it himself. Shot. Finds home. Riley Mitchell makes it 4-0 Hornets with his 26th goal of the season. It may have taken 6 minutes for either offense to wake up, but Lynchburg erupting now. Mitchell from way downtown skips it past Noyes. Make it a 4-score Lynchburg lead. 2:47 to go in the first. It's Krause versus Alexander once again. Another win for Alexander. He picks up the ground ball as well. Those face-off percentages for the 2, by the way, specifically for Alexander, about 63.6% face-off percentage. Darminio in transition. He's got scores in back-to-back games. They're going to say Darminio is too close. It won't count. Bridgewater with a pseudo clear. Not officially. They send it towards midfield. Merendon picks it up. Lynchburg will get that goal one way or another. Instead of Darminio, it's Ryan Kenny with his second on the day. Here it is again after the goal was taken off the board for Darminio. They find Kenny in motion. Breaking to his left. Here is the goal that did not count. You could say the junior walked so the senior could run. Darminio gets in too close, and that opens up the opportunity for Kenny to like goal number 58 of his season. Tyler Cooney at the face-off circle, wins it, gets the grounder, and makes it 6-0 Lynchburg. First of the senior. Senior from New Jersey has his first of the year. First time we've seen Tyler Cooney at midfield. Boy, did he make the most of it. And when it rains, it pours. Right now for Bridgewater, it's a monsoon. In the form of the number 11 team in the country. False start against Cooney, and now Bridgewater will have possession. And it looks like taking the face-off there was actually Samuel Sharps for Bridgewater instead of Alexander. Sharps 79 of 150 face-off attempts this season, so just like Alexander, enjoyed nice year so far. Lynchburg as a team, face-off percentage 60.6%. Bridgewater third in the ODAC, 59.3. That number for Lynchburg, by the way, up and over 60%. That's second in the conference. These two teams are neck and neck in a lot of different categories. The scoreboard right now, not one of them. It's one of those spots where Bridgewater's just got to find some momentum any way they can get it. Starts with the score on this possession here. Shot deflected. Rodegast. Ahead for Schuster. Schuster fields it off a hop. Lewis. Over to Kenny, in and out of his stick before he can let it fly. Josiah Martin keeps it alive for Lynchburg. Popped up. Kenny trying to get it back. Deflected out. They'll stay with the Hornets. About a 7-second difference between shot and game clock. The sun did play a factor there, watching Lewis try to track that pass in. So an early into the possession for Lynchburg. He'll take it however you can get it for Bridgewater, because Hornets offense has been peppering Robbie Noyes and the back of the net in specific. You look at the 3:56 mark when Kenny got his first of the night. You've seen 4 goals from then to where we are now, and all told, from that 8:56 point here in the first quarter. 6-0 run for Lynchburg with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Lynchburg applying pressure. Josh Goodwin can't get it across midfield. Schuster there to make him feel the heat. I did bring an extra battery though, so if you could just leave some of it. Eagles looking to beat the clock. 2 seconds to play with. Shot, save for Hadley, and he'll launch it the length of the turf. Buzzer sounds. We made it through 15. Slow start for the Lynchburg offense, but man, did they wake up. Hornets, through the first quarter, lead Bridgewater 6-0. We'll step aside and come back with quarter number 2 between the Eagles and the Hornets, coming to you on LHSN.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities, learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the athletic training laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic and Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us win.
Wasting no time, getting set for quarter number 2 between Bridgewater, Lynchburg. Gabe Alexander versus Michael Kraus. Face-off win for the Eagles. Still looking to find the back of the net for the first time tonight. Pass finds Gorley in motion. Gorley sends it to the far side. And the pass to Colby Smith. He's picked up by Henry Merendon. Behind the net, taking the screen. This is Martell, our player to watch for Bridgewater. Has taken a shot, but nothing more so far. Martell loses control, trying to back down Rodegast, and Hadley picks up the loose ball, flings it ahead. Martin. Make that Blanchard for Lewis. We went scoreless for the first 6 minutes of the contest, just in case you joined a little late. Then after that, it's been a 6-0 run, carrying us into the first minute 10 plus in the second quarter. Nate Schaefer, couple nice moves, has Rogers. Rogers finds Kenny. I think that went off the foot of Noyes. Kenny Order with 2 scores tonight. He and Riley Mitchell each found the back of the net twice. The other 2 goal scorers for Lynchburg, Tyler Cooney. We showed that on the replay heading to break, and then it's Dylan Wolf to round out the Lynchburg scoring. Rogers trying to insert himself into that mix. Now it's McCarthy. Junior from Centerville. Cuts to his left, low angle shot. Sneaks underneath the net of noise. Lynchburg makes it a 7-0 run and has the first score of the second quarter. 12th of the season for McCarthy. Here it is again. Downstairs. Saw Noyes being protective, trying to guard against shots up and over his shoulders, and created the opening for McCarthy. Picked up by Darminio. Swung to the far side, Merendon. Lewis pass fake. Back to Josiah Martin. Spins to his right. Kenny. Didn't get a stick on it. We are still battling some extreme sun factor right now, especially if you're trying to corral a pass to me on the near side, coming from the middle of the turf or the other end of the field. We already saw Kyle Lewis at the very end of the first quarter lose it in the sun, and probably see that throughout the rest of this first quarter or first half. Nyland forced to retreat back. 7 goals, 2 assists this year for the sophomore. Drew Hubbard over to Colby Smith. Smith airmails the pass. Wanting to get out to Nyland, top of the formation. Lynchburg trying to play in transition. Peter Robinson sends it back to Martin, and Coach Kudelka fired up on the sideline. Wanted to see his team be able to take advantage of a numbers opportunity. Bridgewater able to get back. Jack Spears gets the pass from Martin. Spears looking in the direction of Connor Moore, who just checked in. Gives off to Robert Kirkland, who did the same. Now Kirkland has Connor Moore. Lewis has been busy all night long. Less than 30 seconds on the shot clock for this possession. Leisner. And trying to slow him down. Now it's Sam Lyons working against Connor Moore. Back up top, Spears. Over to Kirkland. Kirkland defended by Wicker. Shot. A save for Noyes. His 6th of the evening. Race to the loose ball. First to it. Wicker gets it across midfield. Nice pass. Gorley. With Dylan Schuster. Long stick midi. With him every step of the way. Now Dom Zingo switches onto him before pass goes back up top. A couple of passes go clockwise. Homick. Shot. Save from Hadley. Perfect touch pass forward. Robinson catches in motion. Even numbers for Lynchburg. Kenny. Crossfield swing. Lewis thought about it. Tries to back down Lyons. Nowhere to go. Likes to send it over to Wolf. Wolf, one of 5 goal scorers so far for Lynchburg. In front of him is Smith. Pick set by Lewis. Shot off frame, Jake Rust. No points so far tonight for Rust. Lewis got his 3rd assist on the night. And on cue, Jake Rust has his first point of the evening as well. Goal number 30 of the season for the sophomore from Windham, New Hampshire. Jake Rust, the 6th different goals scored tonight for Lynchburg. As noted, assist number 3 of the evening for Lewis. How about that being dime number 51 of the year? Happy crowd on hand on the other end of the Dr. Jack M. Tom's track. It's Krause versus Alexander. Face-off win for Lynchburg. Krause hit hard. Back up to his feet. That's a good sign for Lynchburg, as Krause has been among the conference best. The face-off line. And he's got a flag down on the field. Right around midfield. This may have something to do with that hit. Delivered to Krause. You see him talking on the sideline with assistant coach Colin McGuire. Here's the hit one more time. Right as Krause gets the pass off, stick comes in rather high. Always a dangerous play. And it's a 1-minute unnecessary roughness given to Colby Smith. Squats in the penalty box now. Smith had 2 goals last game. Bridgewater gives Lynchburg an opportunity to man up, and Lynchburg not only first in the conference with 56.8% success rate on man-up chances, that's first in the country. So, yeah, scary team to give this type of a window to, especially when you're down 8-0. So Bridgewater going to need a big one, but no stop to be had. Instead, it's a hat trick for Ryan Kenny. Goal number 58 of the season for Ryan Kenny, and he's a big reason why Lynchburg, top team in the country, those man-up opportunities. Talk about he may not have to move much, maybe move 10, 20 feet in a game, but those situations where teams have to shift into a zone, you see Coach Mick Grant on the sideline looking for a change, looking for a tweak as this game progresses. But for Kenny. He'll find the soft spot in that zone and make you pay for it. Krause back onto the field. Another face-off win for Lynchburg. Lynchburg sends it all the way back to Hadley before bringing it back the other way. McCarthy with Eddie Ross the fourth in front of him. Gives it back to Brett Rogers. Rogers, spin to his left. As he falls down to the ground, gets the shot off, and way it's going right now for Lynchburg, the Hornets can simply do no wrong, including falling down to the ground to make it a double-digit lead. Show you it again. Brett Rogers, you're a really good goal scorer. I guess they don't all have to look pretty. But for Rogers, his 11th of the season, and the senior makes it 10-0 Lynchburg. Another win for Krause at the face-off line. And I say that with a lot of love and respect to Brett Rogers and his family. Sure, somewhere he's thinking the same thing. Maybe not right now. He's a little busy. But Rogers gives it back to Ian McCarthy. McCarthy for Lewis. With 60 seconds on the shot clock, the Hornets waste no time. Putting another shot towards Noyes, applying the pressure against the senior keeper. Lewis gets a screen from Schaefer, cutting as McCarthy. His shot left wide right. Once again, possession stays in the hands of Lynchburg, and it's Kenny trying to get it off to Nate Schaefer. He can't handle the pass. Jackson Wicker to pick it up for the Eagles. And the Eagles return the favor. Sam Lyons, errant pass. Turnover for Bridgewater. Rust for Lewis. Spins and buries it home. How about Kyle Lewis stopping on a dime? He's got a tree of assists this evening. Decided to send one home himself. Fourth point tonight for Lewis. First goal. And his 22nd of the season. The Suwanee, Georgia native. See Coach Godelka on the sideline. I'm sure he's a happy guy right now. Here it is another time. Lynchburg, after the turnover, quickly got out to Rust. And Rust, serving as the point guard of sorts on the play, found his shooting guard in motion, and more often than not, it's Lewis as the facilitator. Took advantage of the window and collects his first goal on the evening. Samuel Sharps sends Krause down to the turf. They're going to award possession to Lynchburg. Lewis was eyeing Darminio. Had a step on his defender. A pathway towards the net. Lewis won't force the issue, though, as Lynchburg will set up. Connor Moore with it on the far side. Lewis looking in the direction of Charlie Evans, freshman who's had a big impact right away. 16 goals, 4 assists this year. Spears back for Kirkland. A couple passes later, it's with Connor Moore. It's Moore, couple spin moves. Lets it fly, deflected by Noyes. And then some assistance from Ryan Addison to get into the hands of the Eagles. Pass goes to midfield, intended for Ross the fourth. In and out of his stick. Spears had it for a moment, then lost it. Ultimately, it's McLean sending it ahead for Martell. Martell, our player to watch, but McLean, another big name on this Bridgewater offense that haven't really heard me call out a whole lot tonight. A senior from Fairfax, Virginia. 34 goals, 39 assists. Third in the conference in assists per game, 2.44 per contest. But between Martell and McLean, Bridgewater just has not had a whole lot of opportunities for me to call out their names. Here, a nice sequence. Pass from Becker. Martell right in front of Hadley. catch and a quick release to put Bridgewater in the scoring column for the first time tonight, and it makes it 11-1.
Bridgewater, scored by number 37, Chris Martell.
See the pass, goes top shelf. Martell climbs the ladder and then slams it home. Still a 10-score difference. After 20 minutes of lacrosse, Bridgewater has their first of the night. Kyle Lewis in front of Alex Schwind. A senior getting his 14th game played, but Dylan Wolf. This second of the night, third multi-goal scorer of the evening for the Hornets. 19th of the season for Dylan Wolf. Makes it 12-1. Wolf, see him thought about passing it off, but sees the opening. Goes downstairs and gets it past Noyes. Coach Mick Grant fired up on the sideline. He's done a really masterful job building this program year over year in the right direction. This is a Bridgewater team that's had an All-American 3 years in a row, reached their first semifinals last season. But Lynchburg not letting up against the Eagles this evening. Up 11, and they're keeping the pedal down. Riley, Mitchell, back out to Neves. Now it's Dylan Wolf. Fake to his left, broke to his right. Wolf with it again. 25 seconds and counting the shot clock. Mitchell open with space, finds Kenny behind the net. Now down below 10 seconds on the shot clock. Lewis has Mitchell. And the shot clock hits 0. Nothing to show for the Hornets. Bridgewater looking to complete the clear. Pass sent over to Leisner. He'll get it across midfield. Had it tapped out by Schuster. They're going to have possession stay with Bridgewater. More whistles. .255 to go in the first half, and now play. Back underway. Corey Polo working against Peter Robinson. Spin move, splits the double team as Rodegast in the vicinity as well. Dom Zingo picks up the ground ball. And Tadley to start the possession for Lynchburg. And that's been the unfortunate reality so far tonight for Bridgewater. Haven't seen long-standing possessions and multiple looks and a single opportunity against Tyler Hadley. All that's mounted into just the one goal so far tonight, coming courtesy of Chris Martell, his 63rd of the season. As much as I hyped up the Lynchburg offense first in the conference, they're number 2 in the ODAC in goal against average. A little more than 8.5 goals allowed per game. Russ finds a cutter. Martin, unselfish play, gets it off to Kenny. Kenny denied as he stood in the face of noise. Ricocheted all the way out beyond the attacking third. Lewis keeps it with the Hornets. Tries to go over the shoulder to get it back to Martin. Backing up the play. Jake Rust, his second of the night. And again, Lynchburg can seemingly do no wrong. Pass, off frame. The guy backing up will take the shot and bury it home. Things are clicking right now for Lynchburg. Looking to make it a 6-game win streak tonight and perfect 10-0 mark all time against the Eagles. Kraus, another face-off win for Lynchburg. I'll show you all these numbers at halftime, so stick with us during the break. But that has been a huge area of strength tonight for the Hornets. Jack Spears makes it a 13-goal difference. Show you it again. Unassisted score, Jack Spears, his first tonight, and the 6th of the season for the senior. And for those wondering, program record for goals in a game is 28 for Lynchburg. At this pace, you're knocking on that door. They tied that program record in a 28-4 win earlier this year at Virginia Wesleyan. Zingo gets it across midfield for the Hornets, and Lynchburg right back where they just were. Lewis retreats back. In front of him is Jim Davis, junior from Ashburn, Virginia. 30 seconds and counting. Left in the first half. Lewis back to Spears. How about scores on back-to-back possessions for Jack Spears? Another dime dropped by Kyle Lewis. And Lynchburg makes it 15-1, 28 seconds to play in the second quarter, and it can all happen that quick. Bullet pass, Lewis to Spears, flying towards the net, and has his 7th of the year. Another face-off win for Lynchburg. And a timeout called by Coach Kadelka. Chance to draw something up with 17.4 to play in the first half and potentially steal one more score before we head to halftime. We're going to take a quick pause, come back with the conclusion to the first half of action between Lynchburg and Bridgewater, coming to you on LHSN.
Today's a rough day. Jess and I are officially on a break. The couple canoe has broken up.
It's not.
How you feeling?
Living the dream.
Just canoeing. That's the Mexican side behind me. The U.S. is that way.
So far, we're all still alive.
I really want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Woo! We did it! Kind of.
Living the dream. USA, Mexico. That was so exciting.
Ten seconds and counting before we reach halftime. In and out of the stick of Connor Moore. Back to Spears. Looking to make it a hat trick on consecutive possessions. Instead, Moore gives off to Lewis, and time will run out on Lynchburg. The timeout squandered, but nothing to hang your head on if you're a Hornets fan. 15-1 your score through 30 minutes. Lynchburg in the driver's seat against Bridgewater. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll show you some of the first half stats in a battle between the Hornets and the Eagles coming to you on LHSN.
If you like being close with your professors, if you like being in small classes that help with one-on-one, if you like being in positive communities that help you train your weak points and strengthen your strong points, then the University of Lynchburg is a great place to go. You can never go wrong with the amount of help that they offer, the amount of self-sacrifice that other people will put in for you. It has a beautiful campus, it has dedicated teachers, it has nice students, it has fun activities, and it has plenty of things to do.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Never think that your donation is in vain, because you're helping out hundreds of students that are just like me, who need a shot and who are getting one. Without donations, without you individuals that are helping to donate to the university and the Lynchburg Fund, there would be no student body president, Davion Washington. there'd probably be I'm stuck at home, Davion Washington. Not only is your donation building leaders, but it's building leaders like myself and others that will hopefully want to pay it forward one day and do the same thing. I know for a fact that, when I have it, because I will, I want to give back to this university that provided me a home for 4 years.
Welcome back to Schellenberger Field, the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Halftime and a battle between number 11 Lynchburg and Bridgewater. Eagles, a lot of work to do once we get into the second half. We'll show you some of the stats from the first 30 minutes of play. Meanwhile, Lynchburg on the other side looking to make it a perfect 10-0 mark all time against the Eagles. And the stats tell the same story that the scoreboard would insinuate. And I do want to give some context to a few other of these numbers. One, the face-off wins is massive, and that's actually a bit of a typo there. That's 13 face-off wins for Lynchburg's 38 ground balls picked up by the Hornets, and on the other side, 19 ground balls picked up by Bridgewater. And then want to add a little bit of context and talk a little bit about the turnovers. 12 turnovers for Lynchburg, just one caused by the Eagles. And you got to think that's something that Coach Kudelke and crew are going to be talking about during halftime. And, part of that was the sun in the first half. It was right in the eyes. We talked about the Kyle Lewis not being able to receive that pass due to losing it in the sun. But some of those unforced errors will clean themselves up because of that in the second half. But you'd like to see that at a little bit better of a ratio in the second 30 minutes of action tonight. Meanwhile, 16 turnovers for Bridgewater, 9 caused by Lynchburg. And that's, about right. And this is a Lynchburg team that's fourth in the conference in caused turnovers per game at 10.67, and they're pretty much already at that mark. So figure to see that average rise a little bit more. But just want to give a little bit more context to where those turnovers are really at. And we've updated the face-off wins. So big advantage there for Lynchburg as well. Those are some of the stats from the first 30 minutes of play. We're going to take a pause and get set and preview the second half of action between Lynchburg and Bridgewater, coming to you on LHSN.
Lynchburg really stood out for me just because of the way it treated its students. They really do make an effort here. And I've learned that over my 4 years is that they actually do try to listen to what the student body wants, and they try to act on that. They don't really just give you a piece of paper here to then go off and do your own thing. They actually prepare you to work with different populations, which is what the world is all about. It's just working with people that are different than you. They genuinely care that everyone has the ability to go off into the world and make a difference with whatever they like. For me, that's just being basically in a room with someone helping them achieve their first goal of, doing a pull-up. I actually do believe they want you to do the best you can to change someone's life for the better. You can be anyone here, which I think is really cool. But regardless of who you are here, they will make sure you don't fall through the cracks, which is awesome. I have realized that I've never felt lost here. I will not regret ever coming here, that's for sure. So I'm very glad that I came here. Yeah, it's actually pretty awesome.
We're 2 minutes out from the second half between Lynchburg and Bridgewater. A dominant first half showing for the Hornets. Work to be done for the Eagles. Don't go anywhere. We're going to step aside, and when we come back, we bring to you the second half between the Eagles and the Hornets, coming to you on LHSN.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret. And it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it.
At the University of Lynchburg, we've lowered our tuition, so you get a better value for a great education. Come see our campus for yourself.
Getting set for the second half, Lynchburg carries that 15-1 lead into the third quarters. We get set at midfield between Michael Kraus and Gabe Alexander. The opening face-off for the third set of 15. Some of the adjustments for both sides for Bridgewater. Starts with one score. Feels like once you get a solid possession together offensively, start to see that progress build upon itself. Meanwhile, for Lynchburg, I kind of hit on it when we were talking about the stats. I'd like to see less unforced turnovers. And if we're going to have turnovers, at least be given the credit to Bridgewater and their defense. It's an Eagles team that middle of the pack in the conference, 6th to be precise in the ODAC and cause turnovers per game, but only 1 so far. So if you're Lynchburg and you have empty possessions, you like to see it earned by the Eagles as opposed to forfeited by the Hornets, if that makes sense. But it's Lynchburg with the first possession in quarter number 3. Neves sets the screen. Rust had 2 scores in the first half. Gives it off to Mitchell. Mitchell also a multi-goal scorer tonight. Lets it fly. And Mitchell has a hat trick. Doesn't take long for Lynchburg to give us our first score in the second half. 54 seconds to be precise, and it's Riley Mitchell getting goal number 28 of his season. And it's a new keeper between the net for Bridgewater. That's Tyler Carney seeing his first shot sent in his direction on the evening. Kraus versus Alexander. Ground ball picked up by the sophomore from Chesterfield, Virginia, product of Matoaka High School. Then lost control as he was sent hard down to the turf. 30-second push assessed to Darminio. There you see Darminio in the box, a man-up opportunity. This could be the catalyst of sorts for Bridgewater to kind of wake up the offense. 19 of 44 on man-up opportunities this year. That's 4th in the ODAC at 43.2%. Lynchburg on the other side, man-down defense, top 5 in the conference, 71.4%. Becker sent back to McLean. McLean now in front of the net. Sent down. Hard hit given to Corey Polo. Lynchburg lobbying that Polo was too close in front of their new keeper, Patrick Moore. And it looks like goal will not stand. I don't want to speculate too early, but here's another look at the play.
30-second pushing penalty assessed to number 2, Henry Merindon.
Goal will not count. And just like Darminio, Merindon
This one releases a 13:07.
assessed with a 30-second push. It's now a massive window opened for Bridgewater. They'll have Martell come back to the far sideline. Now play gets back underway. McLean, Becker, back to Martell. Martell takes the shot, leaves it wide right. McLean was eyeing Polo, airmailed the pass, and Lynchburg will survive the player down defensive sequence against Bridgewater. And the Eagles remain with just 1 score tonight. Josiah Martin looking to get across midfield. McCarthy couldn't handle it right at the midfield line. Martell picks it up and tried to get the pass off to Lucas Johnson. Nice play, but maybe Johnson wasn't looking for it. Ultimately, it's Patrick Moore. Comes away. The ball on his stick. Lynchburg quickly down the other side of the field. Shot goes over the top post. It's going to stay with Lynchburg. So new keepers for both teams. Tyler Carney, sophomore from Delaware, Ohio. 7th game played this year. Save percentage at 66.7%. It's 22 saves, 5.92 goal against average so far this year for Carney. And stands between the posts like a unit, 6'3", 220. And here, watches the shot from Jake Rust. Skip in front of him and over the top crossbar. And on the other side of the field, it's Patrick Moore, 15th game played. He's got 9 starts this season. Junior from Birmingham, Alabama. Comes on in relief for Hadley. On the offensive side, Brent Rogers makes it 17-1. Second of the night for Brent Rogers. Here it is again. Goes crossbarty against Carney. And collects his 12th of the year. Tyler Cooney at midfield for Lynchburg, and opposite of him is Gabe Alexander still for Bridgewater, who wins this faceoff, flings it up, and has McLean. Senior from Fairfax at 2 goals, 3 assists in last year's meeting between these two teams. Checking on is Grant Nyland controlling. Jim Davis, speedy player, had a step for a moment against Blanchard. Nice switch behind the net. This pass went to McLean. A couple feeds later, Nyland takes the rip. Shot results in a save for Patrick Moore. Gets it ahead. Blanchard gets past Davis. Throttles forward. Pass intended for Logan Lehman. Broken up. Getting across midfield for the Eagles is Josh Goodwin. Nice play from the junior. Picked up start number 15 of his season tonight. 17th game played in total. Martell with it behind the net. In front of him is Cole Zacharias. Pass goes up top. Nyland takes the shot. Another save for Moore. Race to the near sideline. Moore wins the race to the loose ball. 1-on-1 against Trevor McClelland. Little preview for ODAC Track and Field Championships this upcoming weekend. Will be streamed here on LHS. And hope to have you with us. Meanwhile, back here, Schellenberger Field, Chris Darminio had a goal taken off the board. And I said he's got goals at back-to-back games. Broadcaster jinx came to effect there. Won't hear. 6th of the season for Darminio. And the dog let loose in the front yard. Finds the back of the net this time. Another great example. He is seemingly everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. Lynchburg sees the lead grow to 17. So now it's Samuel Sharps and Tyler Cooney at midfield. Quick win for Sharps. He'll take the shot, and he gives Bridgewater their second score of the night. It's also the second score this season for Sharps, junior from Fredericksburg, Virginia. And the two men that were at the faceoff line, Cooney and Sharps, now both with faceoff wins that result in a score. And it was a seam right down Broadway for Sharps to take advantage of. Just his 4th shot this season. 50% shot percentage is certainly a healthy one. Speaking of shot percentage, how about Lynchburg actually first in the country? We talked about the man-up offense earlier, but shot percentage, another one of those bragging stats, if you will, for the Hornets. But Bridgewater able to get back to work on their offensive end. Gorley, give and go between he and Homick. Becker over to Martell. Short hops the shot in front of Moore, who's there to scoop it up. Nice play by Patrick Moore, and he gets it out quickly forward. Ulrichs got it across midfield. Lehman has it now. 8th game played this year for the junior from Annapolis, Maryland. Moore slings it behind the net. Bringing it all the way out. Ethan Cotter. Cotter had a hat trick 2 games ago at Randolph and a 20-0 win for the Hornets. Errant pass ends the possession for Lynchburg. Fifteenth turnover tonight for Lynchburg. Bridgewater forced to send it back to their keeper, Carney. Flings it down the length of the field. McLean able to receive off a hop. And goes high right 90. Beats Patrick Moore over his left shoulder. And it's now a 2-0 run for Bridgewater to make it 18-3. Carney drops the dime, covering the distance of the turf. And McLean with his first tonight, 35th this season for the senior. Face-off win for Sharps, this time working against Thomas D'Souza, freshman who been able to, in recent games, see the field a little bit more often. Gives Krause as well as Cooney a chance to rotate out. Gorley out for Martell. Back behind the net. Slung up top. Shot deflected a couple times. Moore able to read those redeflects after the shot from Davis. Aiden Olmstead with it just in front of midfield. First time seeing the freshman from Cornelius, North Carolina. Olmstead working to his right. Save for Carney. Cotter for Lehman. Charlie Evans takes the shot, denied from point blank range. And possession given to Bridgewater. Schwind will start it up for the Eagles. Both teams half game back of the team or teams in Bridgewater's case ahead of them in the conference standings. For Bridgewater, they're a half game back of Randolph-Macon and Hampton-Sydney, who are tied right in front of the Eagles. And meanwhile, for Lynchburg, half game back of Washington and Lee, who, of course, is the Hornets' only conference loss to this point in the season. And we'll talk about the rest of Yodak action across the conference as Trevor McClelland has goal number 28 to his sophomore season. Makes it a 3-0 run for the Eagles, whose offense is starting to wake up as we get deeper and deeper here into the third. Homick with a nice find as McClelland trailing the play, able to go between the wickets against Patrick Moore. D'Souza, Gabe Alexander, D'Souza with a win. Pass taken away by Martell. Moore forced to retreat back between the posts, but it's McLean with his second tonight. That's a scoring opportunity created by our Bridgewater player to watch, Chris Martell. But then we'll get the assist on this play. Here it is again. Picks the pass off. Over to McLean it goes. Moore forced to retreat, and that's a tough situation to come out with a save. Possession awarded to Bridgewater. Now 4-0 run. Can carry on a little more. Bridgewater's cut the deficit down to 13. All but one of the prior 9 meetings between these two teams have been decided by 10 or more. That's a chance for Bridgewater to change that here. You continue to ride your momentum here in the third. If that can carry into the fourth, certainly have an opportunity to make this a single-digit difference, and maybe more. Obviously, college lacrosse, anything's possible. Cutter back for Blanchard. As he started the pass to Lehman, had it roll out of his stick. Evans with it on the far side in front of Ryan Addison. Cutter against Schwind. Chris Jennings gets the pass. Two-sport athlete between men's lacrosse and men's swimming. Jennings has it now. Breaks to his left. Takes the shot. Save for Kearney. Picking up the deflection. Owen Hacker keeps it with Lynchburg. 5 minutes in counting in quarter number 3. Jennings controls behind the net. Working against Ethan Moses. Pass goes to Hacker. Shot clock down to 5. Olmstead out to Jennings. Lets it fly from way downtown. Kearney with another save. And as Bridgewater looks to extend the 4-0 run, pass goes from Gorley over to McLean. Got the most recent goal for Bridgewater. He's up to 36 on the season to go along with his 39 assists before tonight's action. Trevor McClelland has another. Sophomore from Purcellville, Virginia. Up to 29 scores on the year. Martell, first in the ODAC in goals per game, but he's dropped a couple of nice dimes here in the third quarter. McClelland, the beneficiary on this occasion, makes it 18-6. Face-off win for Lynchburg. That was Gavin Griot with the win at midfield. Also picked up the ground ball and allows Lynchburg to get to work in their offensive half. .3:15 to go in quarter number 3, and as I promised, I want to update you on some of the cross-conference play. It's Robert Kirkland works to his right against Wicker. Now it's Moore trying to spin against Jim Davis. Spins a second time. Shot, short hopped over the top post. Looked wide left from my vantage point as well. It's going to stay with the Hornets. Cutter for Spears. Spears, Lehman. Now Olmstead. Now it's Olmstead with Davis defending. Davis gets his stick in there. Jars it loose. Bounces out to Cutter. Spears had scores on back-to-back possessions in the third. He'll give way to Lehman. Another shot. Let fly by the junior. And again, it goes over the top post. The shot clock shows 0. So to go into the hands of Bridgewater. To finish my point, one of 3 games being played at the moment. We did have a contest that's already wrapped up. Ferrum fell short to Randolph-Macon 31-1. That was in Ashland, Virginia. You're watching Lynchburg and Bridgewater currently. Some of their games going on. Hampton, Sydney, and Guilford. As it stands right now, the Tigers lead the Quakers 12-5. That game at Guilford. The last game to talk about, Washington Ali and Shenandoah. Generals lead Shenandoah 15-3 near the end of the third. Of course, for Lynchburg's sake, that Washington Ali presumed win. A win tonight allows you to keep pace. Dylan Schuster, the long stick mid. Gets into the scoring mix. First of the night for Schuster. Welcome to the scoring column. The junior from New Albany, Ohio. Here it is again. It was high right, 90. Looking comfortable, despite that being his first goal of the season. And having to double check, but first collegiate goal for Dylan Schuster. Congratulations in order for the junior. And that ends. Strong run put together by Bridgewater, makes it 19-6. Lynchburg trying to reclaim some of that momentum they had throughout pretty much the entire first half. Back and forth, closed for the first 6 minutes of the first quarter. We were scoreless during that time period. And then Lynchburg's offense got rolling, left Bridgewater behind, so to speak. Here in the second half, we're starting to see the Eagles piece things together on that end of the field. Come with some nice defensive stops. We have a flag down on the field. So this will not be the end of the possession for Bridgewater. And it's going to go against Cole Zacharias. It's an unnecessary push. Assessed to Zacharias, freshman from Woodstock, Georgia. Another man-up opportunity now for Bridgewater. Eagles 0 for 3 so far tonight in man-up chances. Martell takes the rip, leaves it off frame. 60 seconds to play in the third. McLean, Martell back to McLean. Becker, a nice feed to Johnson. Stood right in the center of all the traffic. Patrick Moore, clean save. Now Lynchburg looking to complete the clear. Across midfield, Zacharias. Allow Lynchburg drain off, I believe, all 30 seconds of the shove. That time's certainly long gone by now. 15 seconds to play in quarter number 3. Ethan Moses couldn't handle the loose ball. 12.5 seconds. Lynchburg back at it. Cutter working towards the net. Hit hard at the very end of that play, and he's down on the turf, working his way back up on his feet. Loose ball still live. And as the grounders gathered, time hits 0. And that brings a close to quarter number 3. Lynchburg ahead by 13. A strong third quarter for Bridgewater. Cuts the deficit down to 13. 19-6 your score when we step aside. We're going to step aside, and when we come back, bring you the final stands of action between the Eagles and the Hornets, coming to you on LHSN.
Want to have some outdoor adventures while getting a degree at the same time? At the University of Lynchburg, we have an on-campus zip line and rope course. Plus, we offer adventure trips that cost less than a cup of coffee. And did I mention our beautiful scenery? We're a university for students looking for something more than just books. Welcome to your new adventure experience. Every great college has a great city. For Lynchburg, we are near urban areas with lots of restaurants, shopping, and events. Plus, we are one of the top schools in the area. Come see for yourself.
Be ready for anything, okay? Come on, let's go together! Together, let's go! Come on! Let's go! Keep going!
Set at midfield. The opening face-off to the fourth quarter. It's going to be a win for Gabe Alexander. As I say that, in and out of his stick it goes. And picking it up is Darren Palma. So that third quarter, moved the scoring deficit for the Eagles down to 13. It was a 5-4 win in the third quarter for Bridgewater. But that comes on the heels of trailing 15-1 at halftime. Still some work to be done for the Eagles. It's Lynchburg with it now on the offensive side. Chris Jennings brings it around the net. Want to update you on some of the stats as we have entered the final stanza. 50-19 shot advantage for Lynchburg. 16 shots on goal of the 19 for the Eagles. 31 shots on goal in the 50 so far tonight for Lynchburg. 17 face-off wins for the Hornets, 12 for the Eagles. And then for the turnovers, 17 for Lynchburg, 18 for Bridgewater. Spears, break into his left, finds the net. The waiting Carney. Eagles trying to complete the clear to the near sideline. Becker, couple of nice moves. Has just enough of an opening. Trying to get away from both Lehman as well as Frank Jobko. Homick over to Martell. Martell. Nice pass to the far side. McLean forced to get it back out. Nowhere to go after the spin for Martell. Sends it to the near side. Gorley. Behind the net, Martell finds the cutting McClelland. Whistles on the play, and the goal will count. Trevor McClelland has a hat trick and leads the way for the Eagles. That score, his 30th of the season. And that makes it a 12-score difference. Here it is again. Just a nice find, McClellan. You can see why he's top 3 in the ODAC in assists per game. Has great vision, and saw McClellan parting the Red Sea in front of Patrick Moore. Gave him the opportunity. Sophomore converts. Gabe Alexander face-off win across midfield. And Eagles get right back to work. And while this game has maybe not been exactly what Bridgewater had envisioned, 12 minutes and counting left to go in the fourth quarter, but considering 14-goal deficit, halftime, it's down to 12. May not sound like a whole lot, but the second half has played a lot closer between these two teams than maybe the last 20 minutes or so of the first half. Once we got through that 6-minute scoreless stretch to open up the game, it was really dominant. Lynchburg looked and felt like the better team as, case in point, Bridgewater been able to level the playing field, and Grant Nyland backs up my point with his first goal tonight. 8th of the year for the sophomore. Now an 11-goal deficit for the Eagles. Nyland was able to get away from Zacharias. That's another new keeper between the posts for Lynchburg, Zach Phillips. And between the net. And Phillips has allowed both goals this quarter, should be noted. Apologies, I didn't get that out there to you sooner. D'Souza, Samuel Sharps. Face-off win for Sharps. And the Eagles can make it a 3-0 run to start the fourth. But to finish my point, I think you see this in-game progression for Bridgewater and what Mick Grant has been able to do tonight, and it kind of encapsulates what the process has been over his tenure at Bridgewater, right? Program first head coach after being hired for Marywood University as McClellan started to let the shot fly towards net before he fully reeled it in. Hornets quickly the other way. Pass short hopped in front of Lehman and rolls across the near sideline. Back to the Eagles it'll go. But during those 5 years, 4 seasons at Marywood, it was Mick Grant building the program from its inception, a similar theme to what he has done now with the Eagles. And it was a 41-24 record, 20-6 conference mark, 2008 Conference Coach of the Year. And obviously his coaching experience goes back further than that. Former player at Iowa Wesleyan as well as a captain at Hampton-Sydney thereafter. But it's a guy who's done it once before at Marywood, and year over year, this Bridgewater team's gotten more and more competitive in the ODAC, one of the premier Division III conferences. And because of that, garnered more and more attention in the national landscape, and I think that trend will continue. As I noted earlier, had their 3rd consecutive year with an All-American last year. That was Eric Hasselbaugh on the attack, and that's another interesting conversation to be had. Grayson Reck, senior from Roanoke, Virginia, who you haven't really seen a whole lot tonight, is the only returning all-conference player. This team graduated Hasselbaugh as well as Justin Calabrese. Second-team all-conference players, Mason Gaunt, Alessandro Gargano, as well as Jared Barley from the 3rd-team All-ODAC team last year. This is a team with record 4 wins over 500. Even with a loss today, they'll be at 500 in ODAC play, and that's on the heels of losing all those all-conference players from last year. So ebbs and flows of being a college coach, and this game, all that to say, is kind of encapsulated where Lynchburg delivered a knockout punch in the first half, but Bridgewater was able to get back to their feet and still down by 11. They showed a lot of fight and competitiveness, and if you're a Bridgewater fan, you just got to be happy with that type of response as opposed to rolling over. Hunter Becker, nice spin. Was able to lose Jeremy Johnson for a moment. Hornets get the possession. Sam Steele through traffic, looking long, on a hop, and it's there to Johnson. Cutter back to Kirkland. Kirkland will hold. Sophomore from Leesburg, Virginia, 15th game played this year. 2 goals and an assist to go with it. Lehman. Back to Spears. Spears, one of 6 multi-goal scorers tonight for Lynchburg. Was eyeing the hat trick. Instead, kicks it over to Jennings. Jennings had Liam Hunter in front of him. Nowhere to go. Ball still loose. In front of Carney. Picking it up. It's Goodwin. With the ground ball pickup. Carney sails the pass. Just out of reach for Hunter. Getting across midfield, completing the clear. Rob Hacks. Junior from Marietta, Georgia. First time calling him out on the broadcast this evening. A little more than 7 minutes till we reach our conclusion. As Lynchburg gets set, let's look at the final game on the schedule for Lynchburg. It'll be at Hampton-Sydney on Saturday. 1 p.m. start time. As Spears leaves his shot wide right. Meanwhile, for Bridgewater, this is the regular season finale. And if the score stands, it's consecutive losses to ranked opponents to end the regular season. Another air-mailed shot. This one from Olmsted. Less than 30 seconds in the shot clock for the Hornets to play with. Skipped over to Spears. Spears won't have the hat trick here. Nice save for Carney. Becker couldn't handle the pass. Unable to be picked up by Hunter. It's McClellan cleaning up the play. He controls on the far side. Becker back to McClellan. Once more, Becker. Wrap it around. It's Andrew Miller now between the posts for Lynchburg. Fourth different keeper tonight for the Hornets. It's also worth noting, not that it'll necessarily come to fruition here, but Miller, one of 2 goalies to score this year for Lynchburg. Shot, and here's the freshman getting a save. Nice outlet pass. Lynchburg quickly into the attacking third. More on Miller. How about 6'4", 195, hailing from Waxhaw, North Carolina. Other end of the field, Kirkland. With Hacker to his right, Jennings to his left. Pass goes to Hacker. He'll wrap it around the net. Spins back to his right. Pass a little low for Kirkland. Kirkland keeps it alive for Lynchburg, however. Has Cutter to his left. Instead, goes right down Broadway. Save for Carney. Like the aggressiveness there from Kirkland, trying to make something happen on his own. Homick. The spin to his left. In front of him is Martell. Pass goes back. That's Ryan Ashpole with it for a moment. McLean gives back to Homick. Again, trying to spin away from his defender. Pops it up. Ashpole. 8th game played this year. Senior from Bristow, Virginia. McQuain tries for Homick again. Shot clock at 12 and counting. Homick for Martell. Homick zips it wide left. And Lynchburg back to work on the offensive side. Miller to start the possession. And talking again about games left to be played. Only 4 games across the conference on Saturday. Virginia Wesleyan, Washington, and Lee. At Washington and Lee, the Lynchburg-Hampton-Sydney matchup at 1 o'clock we talked about. Out in Farmville, Virginia. It's Randolph-Macon taking on Guilford also at 1. And the final game of the afternoon will be Ferrum and Randolph, set for a 4 p.m. start. So really with Bridgewater having their season come to a close this evening, the score stands regardless of what else happens across the league. There'll be a game back of HSC/Hampton-Sydney, or excuse me, Randolph-Macon, and if either of those two, or even if they both lose on Saturday, it only make up a half-game difference. Olmsted takes the shot. Misses the mark. So it does look like Bridgewater will be locked into that number 6 spot in the conference standings. Bridgewater, that is, will be locked into the 6th spot, and then Lynchburg barring a crazy upset from Virginia Wesleyan playing at Washington and Lee, seemingly will be the 2 seed once we get into the ODAC tournament. Whistles on the play. Cutter has his defender fall down. Jennings had it for a moment. Now it's with Lehman. And of course, when talking about ODAC titles, it's Lynchburg. The goal in mind to make it back-to-back conference titles, the 9th in program history. Bridgewater coming off their first ODAC semifinal appearance last season. Jennings just able to get the shot off. It'll roll past the net. And flag on the play. 91 seconds to be played. It's an unnecessary going against Bridgewater. Sam Lyons, the guilty party. He's in the penalty box. Man-up opportunity now for Lynchburg, first in the country. These opportunities, 56.8% conversion rate. And tonight, Lynchburg is 1 for 1. Looking to stay perfect and can make it their third 20 or more goals showing the last 5. Shot comes wide right. Out of the stick of Chris Jennings. Lehman. Hacker for Jennings. Cutter takes the shot in Lynchburg. 2 for 2 on man-up opportunities. They do indeed make it their third 20 or more goals showing on the offensive side through the last 5 games played. Here it is again. Chris Jennings has taken a handful of shots here in the 4th quarter. Here, he's the facilitator. And it's Ethan Cutter making it 20-8. First of the night for Ethan Cutter. And his 3rd shot. Face-off win. Then losing control across midfield. Zoppler stays with it, applies the pressure, massive hit laid out by Tyler Carney. And good to see Lehman back up onto his feet after that hit. Less than 49 seconds to be played. Just don't want this game to get out of hand at this point in the contest. 12-score difference. No sense in anybody getting hurt. Showed again. Lehman, good hustle, loose ball. Carney steps into it. And Carney now on the sideline with Robbie Noyes.
1 minute illegal body check penalty. Assessed to Bridgewater.
So it's the starter, Robbie Noyes, back between the net.
It's a non-releasable penalty.
And it's a minute non-releasable going against Carney. So his night is done. And with more time on the shot clock than the game clock, it has been turned off. Lehman, slippery move, evaded his defender. Shot scooped up by Noyes. And that may be the last we see of the Lynchburg offense. And the final buzzer sounds. We've reached our final verdict. 20-8. your final score. Lynchburg makes it a 6-game win streak and elevate to 12-4 on the season, 8-1 in conference play. And on the other side, Bridgewater falls to Lynchburg in their 10th all-time meeting and are still looking for their first ever win against the Hornets. The Eagles now 10-7 on the season, 5-5 in conference play. And today was the regular season finale for Bridgewater. Lynchburg with 1 game left. It'll be on the road at Hampton-Sydney this upcoming Saturday. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Some final thoughts, and we'll get you out of here. Bridgewater, strong response in the second half. I think that was a really nice step forward for Mick Grant and his crew after falling behind 15-1 in the first half, and in specific, 1.6-0 the deficit at the end of the first quarter, and then the second quarter becomes a 9-1 victory for the Hornets. So I think the second half being a little more even bears some positives for Bridgewater, and actually the Eagles took the third and the fourth, 5-4, then 2-1 respectively. Meanwhile, for Lynchburg, get on the strong foot. Doesn't really matter what the second half looks like as long as it's not a complete disaster. You walk away with a 12-goal win, and it's 20 scores in a single game, the third time the last 5 played. And after the 6 first minutes of the contest, this offense was rolling on all cylinders and had any and everything they wanted. Even some errant passes, players like Jake Rust backing them up, ends up with a score on the play. Lynchburg played really clean on the offensive side. And then you look at the face-off group. Numbers got a little more even towards the end of the contest, but 18 face-off wins to 14 for Bridgewater with a little bit of a skew towards the end, favoring the Eagles. Lynchburg was down at all 3 levels, offense, midfield, and on the defensive side. So great win for Coach Kudelka and the Hornets as a whole. That'll do it for us at Schellenberger Field. I'd like to give a shout-out to my director, Sam Rice, the rest of our fantastic LHSN broadcast crew. My name is TJ Wingert, and until next time, we are signing off.